During my stint as a security guard at a small warehouse in the city, I often found myself immersed in the quiet solitude of the night shift. The warehouse, although not grand in scale, held valuable tech items that required constant surveillance. Rainy nights like the one I'm about to recount lent an eerie ambience to the otherwise routine job. As the closing shift workers bid their farewells and left, I settled into my solitary vigil, tasked with overseeing the premises until the break of dawn. The relentless patter of raindrops on the roof accompanied occasional bursts of thunder, heightening the sense of isolation within the warehouse. About 2 hours into my shift, a soft beeping emanated from the security room, signaling an alert from the back door latch sensor. Hastening to investigate, I found no signs of intrusion upon inspecting the live camera feed. Doubts lingered, prompting me to personally examine the back door, which revealed nothing amiss but an empty alleyway shrouded in darkness. Despite the lack of tangible evidence, protocol demanded I document the incident, compelling me to return to the security office and commence filling out reports. However, the tranquility of the night was abruptly shattered by a resounding thud echoing through the warehouse. Startled, I ventured into the dimly lit corridors, straining to discern the source of the disturbance. Amidst the rain's relentless cadence, I traversed the building, my senses heightened by an unsettling premonition. As I neared the front of the warehouse, the cacophony of rain grew louder, punctuated by the unnerving sight of the wide-open front door and water puddles mirroring its ominous presence. Instinctively, I retreated to the safety of the security room, activating the emergency button to summon law enforcement. In the tense silence that followed, echoes of muffled thuds reverberated through the warehouse, intensifying the palpable dread that gripped me. Relief washed over me as the police arrived, swiftly apprehending an intruder concealed amidst the shadows of the storage area. His menacing demeanor and the hammer clutched in his grasp bespoke of sinister intentions, casting a chilling pall over the night's events. In the ensuing investigation, the culprit's intoxicated state offered little clarity, leaving unanswered questions lingering in the wake of his inexplicable intrusion. Grateful for his apprehension and my escape from harm's way, I relinquished my post at the warehouse, haunted by the specter of that harrowing night. Though the passage of time may dim its memory, the echoes of that rainy night persist, serving as a stark reminder of the fragility of security amidst the darkness. I used to work as a night manager at a local retail store back when I was in my 30s. Unlike the sprawling wholesale outlets, our store was a cozy neighborhood spot with just a handful of locations scattered around town. Night shifts were usually manageable with the help of a night assistant, but there were times when I found myself navigating the aisles solo, embracing the calm of the late hours. One particular evening stands out vividly in my memory. As I busied myself with the routine tasks of organizing shelves and tidying up, a sharp knock on the entrance door shattered the tranquility of the night. Startled, I peered through the glass pane to see a man wearing a hat waiting outside. Politely, I informed him of our closing hours, but he remained silent, his gaze fixed upon me. After a brief moment, he turned and vanished into the night, leaving behind a lingering sense of unease. Hours ticked by, and the store settled into a hushed rhythm. I took a brief respite in the break room, savoring the solitude before returning to the aisles. Yet, as I resumed my tasks, a sudden chill gripped me when I spotted a figure moving stealthily through the aisles, oblivious to my presence. Instinctively, I retreated, hiding behind shelves as the ominous footsteps drew nearer. A wave of panic washed over me as I heard the intruder's hurried footsteps approaching the break room. Desperation gnawed at my senses as I contemplated seeking help, but before I could act, the intruder bolted from the room, his frantic pace echoing through the empty store. With heart pounding, I fled towards the safety of the front door, fumbling with my keys in a frantic bid to escape the impending danger. Just as I reached the threshold, a blinding flash and deafening roar pierced the stillness, shattering the night's tranquility. Adrenaline surged through my veins as I raced to my car, dialing 911, my mind reeling from the surreal turn of events. When the authorities arrived, they uncovered evidence of a sinister intrusion, an open back door and ominous tools left behind. The gravity of the situation dawned on me as I grappled with the chilling realization that I had narrowly escaped a perilous encounter. The motive behind the intrusion remained shrouded in mystery, leaving me haunted by the unanswered questions that lingered in its wake. Though I parted ways with the store, the harrowing ordeal left an indelible mark, serving as a stark reminder of the vulnerability that lurked within the shadows of the night. During our high school years, my brother and I worked at a charming diner tucked away in the heart of the outlet shopping center. It was a cozy spot where the aroma of freshly brewed coffee mingled with the chatter of diners. Together, we tackled various tasks, from taking orders to scrubbing dishes clean. But when my brother set his sights on college, I found myself navigating the bustling diner on my own. One evening, as twilight descended and the diner's patrons dwindled, I found myself tasked with closing duties alongside the manager. It was a Friday, and the air crackled with the promise of the weekend. As the clock struck 10:30, I embarked on a routine delivery, my headlights piercing the velvety darkness. Yet, amidst the tranquil night, a discordant note struck when a call from the manager alerted me to a discrepancy in the delivery address. Despite a gnawing sense of unease, I pressed on, committed to completing the task at hand. As I navigated through the labyrinthine streets, the city gradually slipped away, replaced by an eerie stillness. Arriving at the purported destination, I found myself ensconced in an unsettling silence. Shadows danced in the moonlight, casting sinister shapes upon the deserted houses. Summoning my courage, I approached the foreboding doorstep, my heart drumming a staccato rhythm. A palpable sense of dread hung heavy in the air, suffusing the atmosphere with an otherworldly chill. With trembling hands, I delivered the package, eager to flee the oppressive silence that enveloped me. Yet my escape was thwarted by the sudden appearance of a shadowy figure lurking behind my car, a specter cloaked in darkness. Paralyzed by fear, I stared into the abyss of uncertainty, my breath caught in my throat. The stranger's presence loomed large, a harbinger of impending danger lurking in the shadows. In a frenzied bid for safety, I tore away from the scene, the echoes of his sinister laughter reverberating in my wake. The night bore witness to my harrowing ordeal, its secrets shrouded in a veil of darkness. As dawn broke, the truth remained elusive, a puzzle waiting to be unraveled. The identity of the caller, the motives of the shadowy figures, all veiled in obscurity, taunting me with their enigmatic silence. In the wake of that fateful night, I grappled with the specter of uncertainty, haunted by the lingering echoes of a darkness that refused to be vanquished. Yet, amidst the shadows, a glimmer of resolve ignited within me, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. It was a frigid evening as I pulled into the snow-laden parking lot of the gas station where I toiled through the overnight shift. From 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Having worked the job for several months, I wasn't particularly fond of it, but given the challenges in finding alternative employment, the night shifts fit well with my personal schedule, albeit leaving me perpetually fatigued. My arrival coincided with the solitary presence of my co-worker's vehicle in the parking lot. After relieving him of his shift, I settled into the dimly lit station, armed with a list of tasks left by the manager. The night held the promise of relative tranquility, with sporadic snowfall veiling the surroundings in an ethereal blanket of white. Around midnight, a car pulled into the station, breaking the monotony of the silent night. Peering through the window, I observed an old SUV parked at one of the pumps, its dark silhouette contrasting against the wintry backdrop. Despite the inclement weather, it wasn't uncommon for the occasional customer to seek refuge from the elements. Minutes passed, and the SUV remained stationary, devoid of any signs of activity. Concern crept in as I contemplated the possibility of someone braving the biting cold outside. Donning my jacket, I ventured into the frosty night to investigate, only to find the vehicle seemingly deserted. A sense of unease gnawed at me as I retraced my steps to the warmth of the station, intent on seeking refuge from the bitter cold. However, my respite was short-lived as an ominous thud reverberated through the building, sending shivers down my spine. Investigating the source of the disturbance, I discovered watery footprints leading from the back room, hinting at an unsettling presence lurking within. With trepidation, I approached the dimly lit supply room, where a shadowy figure loomed ominously in the darkness. Panic seized me as I retreated to the safety of the counter, my hands trembling as I dialed the authorities for assistance. Moments stretched into eternity as I awaited their arrival, my senses heightened by the palpable fear that enveloped the station. When the police finally arrived, their search yielded no trace of the intruder, leaving behind only eerie footprints in the snow leading into the desolate night. The mysterious disappearance left us grasping at straws, with more questions than answers lingering in its wake. As days turned into weeks, the enigmatic incident remained etched in my memory, a haunting reminder of the inexplicable events that unfolded that fateful night. The identity of the elusive figure and the motive behind their intrusion eluded us, shrouded in an impenetrable veil of uncertainty. Starting my first job as a delivery driver for Pizza Hut at just 16, I anticipated it would be a straightforward gig a couple of days a week after school. The initial months passed uneventfully, the job routine and unremarkable. But one Friday night changed everything. An order came in just before closing, leading me to a part of town I seldom traversed. This neighborhood stood apart, a quiet enclave with sparse houses and little commercial activity. As my GPS guided me through winding streets, I grew increasingly uneasy. The address pointed to a park, not a residence, a fact that set off alarms in my mind. Parking by the roadside, I retrieved the pizza, scanning the area. Instead of kids playing, I spotted a lone figure on a bench, gesturing for me to approach. Approaching cautiously, I noted his erratic behavior, muttering reassurances to himself. Concerned, I inquired if he was all right, only to be interrupted by a sudden, chilling presence behind me. A tall figure, masked and armed, emerged from the shadows, demanding my valuables. Adrenaline surged as I complied, the gravity of the situation sinking in. With a terrifying directive, the assailant herded us into the darkened woods. In a desperate bid for survival, the other victim shoved me aside, a move born of self-preservation. As he bolted, the assailant gave chase, leaving me momentarily forgotten. Racing back to the path, I summoned help, the police arriving swiftly. Yet, both assailant and victim eluded capture, disappearing into the night. The motives behind the abduction remained shrouded in mystery, the assailant showing little interest in material gain. It was a stark reminder of the darkness lurking beneath the veneer of everyday life. Reflecting on the ordeal, I couldn't help but question the actions of the other victim, torn between gratitude for his unwitting intervention and resentment for his self-serving actions. In the end, the night left me grappling with the fragility of safety and the sobering reality of human nature.